everyone, I am Niwan Fitriani. I'm the last presenter from 7 Group. So after my friend present about the definition and the types of irony, so now I would like to give you an example of the irony that exists in the poem. But before that, did you still remember about the definition of irony? That's good. So the definition of irony is a figure of speech that describes about the difference between sequence and reality. So how many types about the irony? Did you still remember that? Yeah, there are three types of irony. The first one is verbal irony, second one is situational irony, and the last one is dramatic irony. So I will give you two poems that exist about irony. So I would like to read the poem and listen carefully. So the poems that will I present to you is from Robert Frost, entitled The Route Not Taken. So please listen carefully. The Route Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and won't wear, though as far that the passing there had warmed them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay in lips no step had trodden black. Oh, I keep the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on the way, I doubt it I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sign, somewhere age and age hand, to root different in a wood and an eye. I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So from the poem that I have read, we know that the poem exists about irony, and the irony that exists in this poem is verbal irony. So we can see from the first in the title, The Route Not Taken. Here we know that the author will not choose the route that has taken, but the author will choose and find the route by himself that were not taken by the others. And the second is we can find in a sentence, I shall be telling. We can see this line in the first line of last stanza, and this sentence describe about a choice from the author that make everything better than before. And the last is we can see from the fourth and the fifth lines from the last stanza. The sentence is, I took one less traveled by, and has all difference. This sentence describe about that the outdoor choose the other route that will make all different from previous. So the route here means that journey, yeah. I mean that here the route means that a journey of life. So I think that's all about the first poems. So we can continue from the second poems, that the poems written by Edwin Arlington Robinson, that the title is Richard Cory. So I will read for you. Please listen carefully. So from the poem that I have read, we know that the poem exists about irony, and the irony that exists in this poem is verbal irony. So we can see from the first and the title, the route not taken. Here we know that the author will not choose the route that has taken, but the author will choose and find the route by himself that were not taken by the others. And the second is we can find in a sentence, I shall be telling this with a sigh. We can see this line in the first line of last stanza, and this sentence describe about a choice from the outdoor that will make everything better than before. And the last is we can see from the fourth and the fifth lines from the last stanza. The sentence is I took one less traveled by, and that has all difference. That sentence describe about that the outdoor choose the other route that will make all different from previous. So the route here means that journey, yeah. I mean that here the route means that a journey of life. So I think that's all about the first poems. So we can continue from the second poems, that the poem written by Edwin Arlington Robinson, that the title is Richard Cory. So I will read for you. Please listen carefully. Richard Cory by Edwin Arlington Robinson. Whenever Richard Cory went down on, we people on the pavement looked at him. He was a gentleman from soul to crown, clean, favored, and imperially slim. And he was always quietly oriented, and he always human when he talked. But still he fluttered plus we when he said good morning, and he lighted when he woke. And he was rich, yes, richer than a king, and admirably schooled in every grade. In fine, we thought that he was everything to make us wish that we were in his place. So on we walk and wait for the light. and went without the meat and crushed the bread. And Richard Cory, one calm summer night, went home and put a bullet through his head. So from second poems, that second example poems, uh, the irony that we can find from Edwin Arlington Robinson poems entitled Richard Cory are situational irony and dramatic irony. So we can find situational irony in sentence and Richard Cory one calm summer night went home and put a bullet through his head. Does this sentence show that Richard Cory was happy? I think no. But if we read in previous lines that's about Richard Cory was rich and richer than a king. He was a gentleman from soul to crown, clean, fervent, and imperially slim. If we see from that sentence, we think that Richard Cory was happy because he have anything and he can get whatever he wants. But I think that Richard Cory not happy because in the end of the story Richard Cory was died. So I can assume that this describe about situational irony, because the situational or the story is not is different between a real situation and what is that in the story situation. While the dramatic irony of this poem, I think that start from first lines until the last lines of the last stanza. Actually, this is related of situational irony. Yet we know that this is also described about dramatic irony, because we know that Richard Cory has made the people that involved in this story don't know about it, and they think that Richard Cory just find about his life. Therefore, it looks so dramatic. So I think that's all about the example of irony. And the conclusion about our presentation of irony is a figure of speech that describe about the difference between appearance and a reality. And irony has three types. The first type is verbal irony, the second is situational irony, and the last one is dramatic irony. So I think that's all for our presentation. If we have any mistake, please forgive us. So I think that's all. Thank you. And if you have any question, please ask us in discussion forum. So see you when I see you. Bye.